Hello everyone, Josh first back again, bringing you guys some more Princess Connect. Sorry if my voice sounds a little bit muffled. I'm a little bit under the weather, that's why I didn't upload very much yesterday. But anyways, I'm just here to showcase my team, how far I've come here in the past few days, free to play on Princess Connect, of course, on the soft launch of the game. So I'm going to give you guys a quick update. So we're going to go to my characters real quick. You can tell that I've been farming pretty hard. We already have 2 rank 7s. Now, rank 8 I don't believe is available yet in soft launch because you can only get the chapter 8 at the moment of story in the soft launch server. So we'll have to see if they actually extend upon that before soft launch is over, or if they're going to wait to give us more content after the global release officially, I believe, which will be in like, I think it was like at the end of February, early March. So you can see here, Chica. She was, I believe, my first rank 7. Both my rank 7s basically came around the same time yesterday. You will be using a lot of stamina, but it's worth it. We're going to get into how we got to this point in our next video. We're going to be talking about early progression strategies and how you can kind of get ahead and why it's important to get ahead early on and how to utilize your gems, your jewels rather. So our Chica, rank 7, you can see right here her skills at the moment. Sylvan Blessing, recover HP of all allies in range by 882, summons a spirit. Now, I will say there are better pure healers out there in the game, no lie. I would still say Chica is still like maybe, you know, top 5 or so in terms of healing, depending on what your team setup is. But she's very useful for my particular team because I am running a full physical based team. So you're going to see why her other skills kind of assist with that. But there are better pure healers, if that makes sense. We have Rousing. Rousing, I love it. Boost physical attack of all allies in range by 408. So this is like one of those big things for my particular team. Because again, I am running nothing but basically a physical based team, and the units directly in front of her in my second row are both my AoE based units, so this is very, very helpful. Alright, so Fairy's Lullaby, we have lowers an enemy's physical attack by 383, which could be, of course, very useful. Obviously, it's going to be situation because if you run into any kind of magic based units, they're not going to be lowered by anything. So that's the only thing with this game. There's a lot of units that are either magical based or they're physical based, and if you run a unit that does any kind of direct nerf, or I'm sorry, debuff rather, to one type or the other, you know, obviously half the time they're not going to be as useful for that particular skill because you know it's going to be magic or physical based. So it is what it is, but that's just, you know, what you got to take, right? Now, her EX skill that she got at rank 7, Gifted Voice, boost own magical attack by 765. Now, this is not as useful because she's not really a DPS based healer. She's really not going to be doing any damage at all. She's literally mainly there to be a buffer, to be a somewhat of a debuffer, and of course, give me some healing. So I will definitely be looking to possibly replace her sometime down the line. But for now, she's working as, you know, as good as I needed to. So I'm not complaining. Very, very solid unit for me at the moment. But there are definitely going to be better options I could probably plug in later on when I get to that point. Alright, we have Miyako. Miyako! This is by far one of my more favorite units so far in the game, and it's funny too because she's only a 2-star, but she is so good. And obviously this is a front line unit. She's my second rank 7 that I currently have available right now. She's even sitting at a pretty good power right now for me, 4677. You can see her equipment is completely non-existent at this time. I could probably farm up those 3 later on, but I'm trying to get the rest of my team to rank 7 first before I try to farm up any more of their gear, because I'm going to tell you guys something. You will use a ton of stamina when you're trying to farm up rank 6 and rank 7 gear. I mean, you will use a ton, because not only do you have to rely on drop rates for the gear, okay, you're going to have to farm a lot of different pieces to craft said gear, and then you can of course equip it and then you can be ready and prepared for, of course, when rank 8s do become available. But as you can see right now, we don't have the character exclusive weapons available yet. That's why there is a nice, beautiful question mark. But we might get that later on in soft launch. Otherwise, we'll just have to wait for the official release in a couple months. But that's fine, because that'll give a lot of us time to start working on our second teams and build up other resources, etc., etc. So her skills right now, Union Burst, you're putting now, I love that. Deals 5,326 physical damage to an enemy, recovers own HP by 1454. And this is one of the things that really makes Miyako very, very solid, because she's a tank that does damage and self-heals herself. And as we explained in one of our previous videos, she has 2 self-heals. For a tank, that is amazing. So if you plug her into your first slot, you have a really solid tank that's going to last you for quite a long time. And especially if you're running a physical-based team, she's really, really solid. And if you run her alongside another strong tank for your front line, you can have a really tilty frontline team, okay? So she's awesome. So we have Boo. Boo becomes immune to all damage for a set period of time, which is, I mean, come on. Then we have Snack Time, recovers own HP by 1224. As you can see there again, she has those 2 self-heals on her skills, which is crazy. And then the EX skill that I just recently got, Floaty, Whipsy, Ghosty. Or Wispy, Ghosty rather. Boost own physical defense by 102. So obviously if you're taking on a magic-based unit, that boosting own physical defense isn't going to be as useful. But for the other half of the time where you're fighting a lot of physical-based units, especially in PvP right now, guys, which if you didn't notice, PvP is pretty much just flooded with physical-based units right now, because everyone's out there running some really strong physical AoE units, trying to climb through story as quick as possible. And a lot of people are running Makoto, a lot of people are running Miyako as well as their own tanks, because these units are so solid for early game to help you beat and clear a lot of different content, and they're strong even in mid and late game. So you're going to be seeing a lot of physical-based teams out there, and not too many people are going to be mixing their teams. Like, you're not going to have a lot of physical and magic mixed in. Usually you want to kind of just go with one or the other and try to build a nice synergetic team. So because of that, you're going to be running into a lot of physical-based units, which means technically if you want to try and go against the meta and go a little bit anti-meta, if you will, which kind of in itself is meta, if you think about it, then you could run a magic-based team if you'd like to try and get the jump start on some people. But a lot of people usually just keep smashing the refresh button until they find a favorable matchup, especially if you're fighting a lot of the beginning game bots that you're going to have to get through to climb up the stages of PvP until we get to where there's only real players left. But anyways, Miyako, very, very solid unit. Then we have Monica. This is another unit that a lot of people will be using in PvP as well, because I think her and Rino are like very solid, and luckily I was able to pull both of them in my initial 2 multis I did on this account, which is crazy. So she's only currently still rank 6. By the way, all these units are currently at max bond level for the moment, for whatever, you know, their ascension currently is. Level 50, obviously. Power, 4577, so a bit lower than my Miyako, but again, only a 6 rank. Equipment, I'm slowly getting there. She needs a couple more pieces, and then I'll be able to take her to rank 7, which will give me my 3rd rank 7 unit. So it's going to take, and just in case some of you are curious kind of how hard the grind is, you need 20 of these gold fragments, okay? And the drop rate, depending on your luck, you might have to do 30, 40 runs to get those 20 fragments, and I'm not even joking. Some good stuff there, okay? If you love the grind, there you go. So skills for her. Violet Shock Flare deals 3,092 physical damage to enemies in range. You can see there, it does all enemies in range, and I believe she usually hits 2 to 3 enemies depending on how many's on that line. We got Fanfare, boost all allies physical attack by 77, boost all allies magical attack by 77, and boost attack speed of all allies. So she's a very good buffer, because she completely takes all the situation out of it. Like, there is no RNG involved with her. You don't have to worry about with what team comp you're running. She works with everything because she's going to boost magic attack, she's going to boost physical attack, and she's going to boost speed. Now, granted, she is a physical type unit, so you still want to really mostly run her with a physical based team, but it's nice to know that if there are certain situations where you might want to plug in a magical type unit, she's still going to be giving that unit a buff as well. So it's very, very good, and upping the speed of everyone is awesome, especially in PvP. Alright, so musket shot deals 1718 physical damage to an enemy, renders an enemy immobile for a set period of time, because she basically stuns, and it is glorious when that goes off, when you're trying to fight, like, you know, difficult boss stages, for example, or of course in PvP. You're going to be hearing Monica and Rhino's name associated with PvP quite a bit. Blessing of the White Wings, obviously I don't have that unlocked yet, but when I do, of course, it'll boost my own physical attack by whatever the number will be when I level it up to 50. So that is Monica. Alright, Makoto. Our girl, Makoto. We can actually equip something right here. I didn't even realize I farmed that up last night, but there you go. So she's at 4722. Of course, rank 6, so I still need to farm up a couple more pieces of gear for her to get her to rank 7. If we look at her skills here, Woven Rend, she's going to be doing 9189 physical damage to an enemy, lowers an enemy's physical defense by 46, which that lowering physical defense is not as good in early story, but it will become clutch later on, but it's very, very solid for boss stages. Hard Slash deals 4084 physical damage to an enemy, so, you know, obviously Makoto is just going in hard with the damage. Heroic Howl lowers an enemy's physical defense by 41, so she's got the double down on, you know, lowering defense, physical defense, and then she's doing a ton of physical damage, so she's literally just a nuke. And then we have Raging Wolf Fang, boost own physical attack by, you know, so-and-so, depending on what it goes up to when we get it unlocked. So that is Makoto, very solid unit. Then we have our girl Rino. This has been my hard carry for a lot of content, because she just does so much damage, and it's AoE, so it's beautiful. So Arrow Rain deals 3877 physical damage to enemies in range, and she hits pretty much the whole board, which is awesome. Concentration boost own physical physical attack by 765, and boost own physical crit rate by 45. So basically she's doing a ton of damage because she's critting a lot, especially when she's using her ultimate, which is awesome. And when I say ultimate, I mean Union Burst. I just like to say ultimate because, you know, gotchas. Crushing Shot deals 3821 physical damage to an enemy, and then Penetration boost own physical attack by blah 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 blah. You guys get the idea. We have a lot of physical attack boosters on this team, including a unit like Chica that also buffs, and then we also have a unit like Miyako that buffs. So we're getting all of this attack potential. I'm running a very aggro heavy team, if you guys haven't noticed. I'm doing a ton of physical damage with this team. And then we are slowly working on some projects here. Kaori is definitely a unit that I want to really work on and try and build her up, because for a 2-star unit, she packs a punch. Ryukyu Ken Knuckle Cannon deals 8,239 physical damage to an enemy. You guys can already see how strong this girl is for her single target damage. And keep in mind, she's only a rank 5. I could still rank her up to 6 and 7, getting all of that damage up even further. She's going to do a ton of single target damage, and the reason why is we'll talk about her skills and you'll see. It's crazy the damage potential she has. Midline Thrust deals 2746 physical damage to an enemy, and right here is where she gets crazy. Mental Focus. So, after activation, boost damage dealt with each attack stacks. Yes, you heard that right. Stacks up to 5 times. Right now I'm adding 501 damage per attack. So wow, the walloping that she's going to be doing with her Union Burst is ridiculous. And her EX skill, of course, is another boost on physical attack, because we love that around here. We're also working on Eriko, another strong unit for DPS and a good frontline unit. We have a lot of good frontline units, but I kind of abandoned her for a bit for now because I really want to focus on Kaori since I have her. And just quickly, we are also working on Yui, because I really like Yui as a steady healer. I think she has a lot of potential. Her skill set's very, very good, so we're slowly working on her as well. She's also just a rank 4 at the moment, but you know, we're going to slowly build up a second and third and fourth team eventually. We're just kind of getting there slow and steady. I'm trying to rush to the finish line so I can backtrack and start farming up and then start stockpiling resources. At least that's the goal anyways. So obviously she has that group heal, recovers all HP, which is always nice. She has the magic damage to an enemy. Flower Guard boosts all allies' physical defense, which can be very helpful and make your team a little bit more tanky. And then boost own magic attack by, you know, so-and-so whenever we unlock that and level that up. And then, of course, I'll talk about Eriko real quick because I kind of skipped her. Deadly Discipline deals 75-45 physical damage to an enemy. Boost own physical attack by 1125 upon defeating an enemy. So her big attack boost is a bit more situational. That's why I'm kind of building up Kaori over Eriko, because I feel like the damage potential is still there with Eriko, but it's a little bit more situational. If you don't kill the enemy, you're not getting that big buff. Whereas with Kaori, she's just getting that buff anyways. So that's why I kind of shifted priority and started working on her for right now over her. But we'll come back to her at some point. Obsession, boost own physical attack, because you gotta love boosting physical attacks on Josh versus team around here. Poison Mist deals 1962 physical damage to an enemy, inflicts poison that deals 100 damage. And then Unrelenting Obsession, of course, at rank 7, boosts own physical attack. So she gets 2 physical attack boost. And I believe that is it, guys. Yeah. So that is my progress team-wise, character-wise. I think I'm sitting at around 22, 23k. Getting very close. Okay, we're at 23,025 with my core team. You can just see there, I just have a second team just listed there with units I was working on. Obviously, those 2 level 1s I'm not even touching. I just threw them in there. Those are at 9,700. So we're going to, you know, we're slowly working on that second team in the background. Very slowly. I'm at player level 50 currently. My guild house, I've been saving up my rupees because I've been focusing on the 2 main things in my opinion, which is the mana creation device, which is level 6, and my snack table level 6 as well. So that's for both the stamina and mana, which is, you know, in my opinion, the 2 most important things of the 4 things that you can get from the guild house. I've even unlocked floor 2, but I haven't put nothing there yet. So, you know, eventually we'll slowly decorate this as we go and make this a very beautiful guild house to welcome all of my guests from around the world. But that's it for that. The last thing I guess I could show you guys real quickly is my PvP ranking and my quest progression. So you can see right now I'm sitting at 2753. I actually just got ranked down, I think, since I started recording a video, so that's a rip. But yeah, we're slowly climbing through PvP, and I'm going to be talking about in my next video why it's important to go through PvP as fast as physically possible, because it gets pretty crazy. I think that's it. Oh yeah, quest real quick. I'll show you guys my story progression real fast. Yesterday I ended off on 711. Okay, so that's where we're at. I think I've 3-star cleared almost all of 6. I think there's like, yeah, 2 levels I need to go back and fix. Everything else is 3-star cleared. And then on hard mode, I believe I ended with, yeah, I'm on 5-3 right now. So if I beat that at some point today, I, of course, will be in 6. And this will be a great place to farm up character shards, etc. So that is my progression, guys, as a free-to-play so far. Hope you guys enjoyed. Hopefully you guys are enjoying Princess Connect as I am. It's actually surprisingly more fun than I initially thought going in. Still not a fan of a game called Princess that I keep putting in my title, but but beyond the actual game's name itself, it's been actually pretty dang enjoyable, more than I actually thought it was going to be. So if you guys like this type of content, if you guys like this game, this video, don't forget to hit that thumbs up. It really helps the channel out a ton. Don't forget to subscribe, check notifications, join us in the Discord in the description below, and I'm gonna catch you guys all in the next one. Until then, as always, peace.